Okay, guys, what happens when the star of the show is instantly capable, never makes mistakes, and doesn't struggle in any meaningful way? Well, you get a boring story. Audiences don't connect with perfection, they connect with struggle. A good story needs conflict, not just from outside forces, but from within the character themselves. Think of Neo, Luke Skywalker, Rhaenyra Targaryen. These are characters who didn't have it figured out right out of the gate. We watch them stumble towards their full potential. That's what keeps us invested. Perfect protagonists make for boring stories. We need to see the path that led to greatness, because once greatness is achieved, it's believable. You agree with it, and hopefully, on some level, you feel like they earned it. But modern protagonists are often written with a kind of nervous overcompensation. Studios don't want to make them unlikable, problematic, or offensive, so they strip them of anything negative. But you need the conflict. Without it, you end up with characters who feel more like corporate-approved role models. Instead of exploring the whole story, experiencing the journey with them, seeing the struggles and the milestones along the way, studios fall into the tell, don't show trap with their protagonist. This trend is especially noticeable in blockbuster franchises. Marvel, for example, has been guilty of this. Captain Marvel is powerful and confident from the start. And she stays that way. There's not much long-term suffering, self-doubt, or failure. Things that usually make a character feel real and earned. These characters might be strong in theory, but strength without vulnerability has no depth. Status without struggle has no merit, and a protagonist without a history creates no bonds. The audience doesn't connect to a character who never doubts, never suffers, and never grows. Compare that to someone like Tony Stark. When we first meet him, he's arrogant, selfish, and complicit in the violence his company profits from. But through pain, failure, and sacrifice, he evolves. That arc makes him one of the most compelling characters in the Marvel Universe. He doesn't just win, he earns it. But here's where it gets tricky. This isn't just a storytelling problem, it's also a marketing problem. Studios are increasingly afraid of creating controversial characters, especially female or minority leads. They worry that giving those characters flaws will be seen as criticism. So, they overcompensate by making them perfect. But in doing so, they rob those characters of everything that makes audiences fall in love with them. A perfect protagonist also kills suspense. If we know the character will always do the right thing and always win the fight, then there is no tension, no stakes. It becomes a checklist, not a story, and at that point, you're just waiting for the movie to wrap up. It's worth noting that older stories don't have this problem. Think of Indiana Jones. He's brave, but also clumsy and constantly improvising. Even Superman. He may have had super strength from the start, but he still had to go through his own journey to become the fair, selfless character that we're used to. These are great protagonists because they are great characters, not because they're perfect. So what's the solution? Writers need to remember that flaws aren't weaknesses, they're opportunities. A protagonist who messes up, learns something, or even fails outright can be far more powerful and far more engaging than one who simply wins. Growth is what creates an emotional payoff. When a flawed character succeeds, it means something. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.